Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I'd like to thank each one of you for the encouraging response that you have given to each of my videos. So today's video is specially on basics about how to use the OSs or the flowers, the foliages, and get them all together to make a beautiful arrangement. It's very easy with some basic techniques used in the right way. So let's start with the basics about flower arrangement. If you like the video, please do share your comments and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, so let's begin with our basics about flower arrangement. So the first thing, OSs and how we are going to use it inside a container. The OSs has a marking of 3 different lines, because of which it becomes easier to cut the OSs into smaller sizes. So before cutting, I could also measure it up according to the container. Applying little pressure creates a line on the OSs, because of which I understand that this should be the desired size of the OSs that's required for an arrangement. After this, I have to place it inside a bucket full of water. So you could have a bucket which is filled with water and just place the OSs in it for the next 2 minutes. You don't have to apply pressure, you don't have to hold your hand against it. Just keep it there and slowly and steadily it will sink inside the water. That's an assurity that the water is completely absorbed by the OSs. Now the reason the OSs is used is to hold the flowers fresh for a longer period of time. The OSs has to be completely wet before we start using it. I'm working on a wooden surface, hence to prevent it from water, I would use a duster while I'm doing the arrangement. So once I'm assured that the OSs is completely wet, I get it out from the container, getting the extra water out and then placing it on the and this is how I start cutting it. It's better to cut diagonally from all 4 sides, because of which the OSs easily slides in. Having an understanding that the OSs would be a little difficult to fix in, I have also cut some part on the sideways, and finally a little bit of pressure and it easily glides inside the container. You could fix the OSs as you see here in the picture, or else you can also press it down. The reason why we keep the OSs little above the rim of the container is so that it becomes easy for placement of flowers on the horizontal side. So this completes with how to fix the OSs inside the container. So along with that, I'm also going to show how to cut a palm leaf and one more foliage. Apologies, I don't know the name, but it's locally grown here. So the first one is goldenrods, second is statice, next one is palm leaf. Okay, so whenever you're using goldenrods, they add a lot of volume and a nice color contrast to a flower arrangement and very commonly used foliage. It's easily available. The second one is called as statice. This could be a good substitute for baby's breath, which is expensive. This one is the local foliage, which could add a nice backdrop or add volume or increase the length of a flower arrangement, and you can give different shapes according to your choice. So I've tried to create different designs at the border or the ends of each and every leaf of this foliage. It's also a good foliage for an ikebana style of flower arrangement. This one is again the palm leaf. I have used palm leaf in most of my floral arrangement videos. So now here I am trying to create a design by cutting it into a triangular shape. Always remember, whenever you're using a foliage, when you trim it from sides or give a particular shape, it gives a nice balance to the entire flower arrangement, or else it may look like a forest. Now the good point about the palm leaf is it can easily curl up, it can hold its structure properly in place. At the same time, it remains fresh for at least 3 to 4 days. So when you're selecting foliages which are easily available, because what is a foliage? It's the greens that we use to give a contrast in a flower arrangement. So whenever you're using a flower arrangement, you should always make sure the flowers and the greens have to remain fresh for the next 2 to 3 days. That's how you're going to design a flower arrangement. So looking at the video here, you can understand that how easy it is to cut a palm leaf or shape it into a triangular form, and that also looks more presentable and gives sharp design to the foliage. So this one is a recent discovery in my backyard, and if you look at the foliage, it adds volume. It also has this waxy leaves because of which they look very fresh and they reflect light. They seem to have a good shelf life. They can easily last for 2 to 3 days inside an arrangement, making the flowers looking fresh. I could use the red roses in front of it to make a beautiful arrangement. So when you're placing the foliages inside any arrangement, place it diagonally, which would give a good balance and a nice structure to an arrangement. In the center, I could fill it up with goldenrods or tatis and complete the entire arrangement. So that's one kind of the foliage that you could use. Next one, look at this foliage. Isn't it beautiful? It's in the same family like Drasena. It has a thick stem in between, because of which it can hold the structure properly. And yes, because of the waxy texture and a dual tone, that's yellow and green, it's a best foliage to be used when you have yellow flowers, and it gives a beautiful combination. I have also used an ikebana style of flower arrangement. Whenever you use long leaves, they always add or increase the size of an arrangement. At the same time, they make the flower arrangement more lively. So these are few basics about arranging the foliage on an oasis. I have also attached the earlier clipping of one of my flower arrangement videos. One-sided flower arrangement. I am using this locally grown greens in my area. I'm using it as a substitute for Drasena. Drasena is one of the foliages which helps to give a good background, and it has two different tones, that's yellow and green. I had an availability of these foliage, so I'm using it. I'm creating a design. On one side, I'm forming a V-shaped design, whereas on the other side, I'm trying to form inward V direction of the V shape. So I already have an oasis which is placed inside a glass container. As this is a one-sided flower arrangement, I'm going to create a backdrop first. So the highest length of the foliage would be placed in the center, and then it would continue in the decreasing order of the height. Whenever you're using a foliage, you should always remember, select a foliage which can remain fresh for at least 1 to 2 days. So I will keep on adding the foliages on all the sides to cover up the oasis from one side and create a background of green color. Why are we using foliages? Foliages help you to create a great balance and a contrast between the color of the flower and make it look more lively. This I have completed the background or one side of the flower arrangement. I have to place some more foliages in front of the container to complete the arrangement. So I have almost come to the end of filling up the areas with the foliages and create a symmetry or a design on all sides. And that's the final outcome. Isn't it beautiful? If you liked today's video, please do share, subscribe and like the videos. Thank you and see you soon.